Hi friends! Today I'm going to rebuild the long block from my Volvo 340. In the past few weeks I've already made a start on this engine rebuild. I started with the cylinder head by replacing the valve seals and grinding in the valves. Last week I've replaced my piston rings and crankshaft and conrod bearings. And today it's time to finish this rebuild. Now that I've got this engine flipped upside down already, I'm going to start by reinstalling this oil pump, which I removed to be able to loosen these bolts. And then we're going to flip the engine over again and install the timing chain. It's quite heavy for such a small engine actually. Now let's install the timing chain. Okay, so for the timing there are two marks. One right here and one right here. And they should line up perfectly. So I got this little wooden thing to stir your coffee with. But yeah, you can check and see that it's lined up properly. Okay, it's kind of hard now with the camera, but you get the idea. The marks still line up, so now it's time to install the timing cover. Okay, so before I install this cover, I'm going to replace this seal. Alright, so before I can install this cover, I gotta get rid of all these pieces of old gasket. I'm going to use this little knife to carefully take it off, and then I'm going to use some sanding paper to get it just a bit smoother, I guess. And I'm going to do the same for the engine itself. Alright, I'm done sanding. So now I'm just cleaning the part where the gasket touches the engine. This is the gasket that I'm going to use, but somebody advised me to put some liquid gasket on both sides as well. So I'm going to apply some liquid gasket to this, and then I'm going to put it on the engine and then install the cover. I'm using this black instant gasket for this. Now let's torque them all to spec, which is 8 Newton meters. Now let's install my crankshaft pulley. That looks awesome, I think. I'm glad that I painted this grey. I think it looks pretty clean in contrast with the black. Alright, so now that I installed this cover, I'm going to continue and install my cylinder head. But first I gotta install the valve tappets, I believe that's what you call them. But I gotta remove these bolts first because they're in the way. I've used these to keep the cylinder sleeves in place when I'm turning the engine upside down. But once the cylinder head's installed, they won't be able to come out. So I won't be needing these bolts anymore. Now, before I install my new head gasket, I'm going to sand this surface a bit. I'm degreasing this surface one last time, and I'm also going to degrease the surface of the cylinder head. And then I think we can install the new head gasket. I'm making sure not to miss a spot so that it won't leak. And I'm using brake cleaner to degrease this. Alright, so this is my new head gasket. And I'm going to put it in place once I get this plastic open. Wait, I've got a knife. Gotta make sure the top side's actually on top. These are my new cylinder head bolts. I've put them in this container because I've put oil on them, but they're new. I'm not going to reuse the old bolts. I'm putting the rings in place like this because I don't want to struggle with the oily bolts. I think it's easier this way. Now I can put these parts that I still don't know the name of in place. They should have a name. I gotta clean them first. They're not super dirty, but they got a bit dusty from lying around for a few weeks. So that's why I'm just using this microfiber cloth. Now that all of this is in place, I should actually measure my valve clearance, but I don't have the proper tool right now. So since it's only 3 bolts, I am going to install my valve cover for now, and then I'll fix the valve clearance once the engine's in the car. I think it's starting to look super nice. Now let's turn the engine upside down so we can install the oil sump. Now I gotta do this sanding and degreasing process just once more. And then I think we're done installing these gaskets that need sanding. I'm applying liquid gasket to both sides of the gasket, but of course the most important parts are these corners. So before I install my oil sump, I've applied liquid gasket all over the other gasket and I've mainly focused on this part where these 2 gaskets connect, because I don't want it to leak between there. I've also cleaned all these bolts off camera, because I don't want these nasty bolts to go back into my freshly painted oil sump. They do look a lot better though. Well, that's it for the oil sump, which means I've completed rebuilding this long block. Now let's turn it over again and install some more parts. I just wanted to take a sec to show you the engine now that it's done. I'm super happy with the result and I can't wait to see what it will look like when I installed all the parts I painted a few weeks ago. I almost forgot, but I still gotta change my oil filter. I'm not sure if there's still oil on it. There probably is. I don't want to make a mess. Guess I'm lucky. There's not much oil in there. Alright, now on to the last part I'm going to install today, which will be my water pump. That looks pretty dope, doesn't it? Everything looks really good except for this, but I still gotta lift the engine on this hook, so I'll paint it when I have the engine in the car, I think. But besides that, I think it looks really nice. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!